Good morning. Now we discuss the third topic from the chapter microwave spectroscopy. In the previous session, we have discussed mainly two topics. First is the rotational spectra of the rigid diatomic molecule and the isotopic effect. And in that, we discussed the example of carbon monoxide. Now we going to analyze the intensity of the rotational lines. We have seen that the pure rotational spectrum of diatomic molecule consists of a series of equally spaced lines corresponding to the transition from 0 to 1, 0 to 0 to 1, and 1 to 2, and 2 to 3, and so on. Now we estimate the relative intensities of these spectral lines. The important factor decides the intensity of the lines will be the number of molecules present in each level, and the number of molecules present in each level depends on the Boltzmann factor and the degeneracy of the level, which is 2j plus 1. Okay. If n0 is the number of molecules in the j equal to 0 level, the number of molecules in the jth level using Boltzmann's law, it is given by nj is equal to n0 exponent of minus ej divided by kt, or that is equal to n0 exponent. What is the expression of ej? Ej is equal to minus bhc j into j plus 1. Okay. We have converted that quantity into joule. Here, then what is the b value of b here? B is represented here in centimeters. Okay, then we multiply it by hc to convert it into joule. Then bhc into j plus 1 divided by kt. Okay, when we taking the degeneracy into account, the number must be nj is equal to, how can it obtain? We multiply the above quantity with 2j plus 1. So we n0 into 2j plus 1 into exponent minus bhc j into j plus 1 divided by kt. Okay. To obtain the maximum population, we have to set dnj divided by dj is equal to 0. Have you got it, the idea? If a function f of x, then if the function has a maximum, then df divided by dx must be equal to 0. Okay. In the similar way, if nj maximum. For the population to maximum, then dnj by dj must be equal to 0. Okay. Then we differentiating the value of nj with respect to j. We will get j is equal to root of kt divided by 2bhc, and here this quantity this inside the root and minus half. We can see the steps involved getting the value j can be seen this slide, that is dnj by dj is equal to d by dj of n0 into 2j plus 1 exponent of minus bhc j into j plus 1 divided by kt, or that is equal to 0. Here the two quantities 2j plus 1 and the exponent of this part depends on the value of j, and n0 is constant, so we can take it outside, then it can be cancelled out because in this side it is equal to 0. Then we apply the product rule, that means d by dj of uv. In the similar way, first we take 2j plus 1 constant and find the derivative of the exponent. So 2j plus 1 into, if it is in the form e raised to minus ax, here it is not in the form minus ax. So first we have to find e raised to some quantity, e raised to some quantity, then exponent of some that quantity and the differential of the power of the exponent. Okay, then exponent of this one into what quantity, minus bsc divided by kt minus bsc divided by kt into then this quantity. Look at this one. Okay, j is a variable one, then we multiply it this quantity, then j square minus j. What is the differential of j square minus 1? Sorry, j square plus j, j square plus j, differential must be equal to 2j plus 1. Then I write 2j plus 1 whole square here. Then the second term. In the second term, we kept the exponent quantities constant and the find derivative of 2 into j plus 1. It is only is equal to 2, and we cancel out the exponent quantities. Okay, then exponentials are cancelled out, then minus 2j plus 1 whole square into bsc divided by kt plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, then 2j plus 1 whole square is equal to what? 2kt divided by bhc, or 2j plus 1 is equal to root of 2kt divided by bhc, then 2j is equal to root of 2kt divided by bhc minus 1. Okay, then j is equal to root of 2kt divided by bhc divided, sorry, root of 2kt divided by bhc minus 1 all divided by 2, or that is equal to this quantity. So we obtain the result j is equal to root of kT divided by 2bhc minus half. That is, the level nearest to this J value will have the maximum population. Hence, transition originating from the level having this J value will have the maximum intensity. Okay. Now, the rotational spectrum of a non-rigid rotator. Experimentally, it is found that the separation between the adjacent lines decreases steadily with increasing J. Then what is the reason? Experimentally, it is found that the separation between the adjacent lines in a rotational spectrum decreases steadily with increasing J. The reason for this decrease is obviously due to the decrease in the value of B. Then how it happens? It is because of all bonds are elastic to a certain extent, and the bond is not rigid as we assumed. We assumed in the previous case a rigid rotor. Practically, the bonds are not rigid. Therefore, the correct treatment, one has to complete the Hamiltonian of a rigid rotor, or we have to find the solution of the Schrodinger equation corresponding for a non-rigid rotator. So the solution of Schrodinger equation for a non-rigid rotator, that is given by epsilon j is equal to b into j plus 1 minus d into j square plus d into j square into j plus 1 whole square. It is in expressed in centimeters, where j is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Where d is called the centrifugal distortion constant and is a small positive quantity. For a diatomic molecule, d is related to B and the fundamental vibration frequency nu bar of the molecule by the relation d is equal to 4b cube divided by nu bar whole square. That is, for a diatomic molecule, the D and B. D is the centrifugal distortion constant and B is the rotational constant and nu bar is the vibrational frequency. They are mutually connected by D is equal to 4b cube divided by nu bar square. So the fundamental frequency of the vibration is given by nu bar is equal to nu by c, or that is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi c root of k by mu, where k is the force constant and mu is the reduced mass of the molecule. Substitution of the values of B and nu bar gives D is equal to h cube divided by 32 pi raised to 4 I square r square kc. It is from the expression D is equal to 4 b cube divided by nu bar square. Okay. From the above equation, it is evident that the centrifugal distortion effect are greatest for molecule with small moment of inertia and small force constant. That is d is equal to h cube divided by 32 pi raised to 4 I square r square kc. I, the I square and k in denominator. So when I is small, then the distortion will be greater. And if k is small, then the k is the force constant. Then if k is small, then the d must be greater. Okay. So in a given molecule, the effect of centrifugal distortion is decrease the rotational energy, which increase rapidly for higher rotational levels. If the value of J increases, the effect of centrifugal distortion increases. The selection rule for non-rigid rotator is again delta J plus or minus 1. The frequency of the transition from J to J plus 1 is given by nu bar. Nu J bar is equal to B into nu bar is equal to what? Ej plus 1 minus Ej, or that is equal to B into J plus 1 into J plus 2 minus D into J plus 1 whole square into J plus 2 whole square minus Bj into J plus 1 plus Dj square into J plus 1 whole square. Then solving it, we can simplify it as 2b into J plus 1 minus 4d into J plus 1 whole cube. So when we compare with the expression with rigid rotor, the additional term come here is minus 4d into J plus 1 whole cube. So the first term is same as 1 due to the rigid molecule, and the additional term give the shift of lines from that of rigid molecule, which increases with J as J plus 1 whole cube. So it is the comparison spectrum of rigid rotor and non-rigid rotor. When we look at the lower J values, they are approximately same. When going up, increasing the J value, the position of lines in the case of non-rigid rotator lowers. And from this spectra, we can determine the constants B and D, from which we can estimate the fundamental vibration frequency of the diatomic molecules. And here we consider the example of hydrogen fluoride. The observed spectrum of hydrogen fluoride shows the J is equal to 0 to J is equal to 1 absorption line occur at 41.11 centimeter inverse. and the spacing between adjacent absorption is 40.08 centimeter inverse around j is equal to 5 to j is equal to 5 to j is equal to 6 transition, and the spacing is only 37.81 centimeter inverse around j is equal to 1 to 11 transition. Okay, so from this we can first find the value of 2b. Okay, so this is the transition, this is the transitions. We have given the spacing between adjacent, or it is the value 2b, then dividing it by 2 we will get the value of b, and we know the value of b, then we can obtain the moment of inertia, isn't it? Okay, we know that b is equal to h divided by 8 pi square ic, or I is equal to h divided by 8 pi square bc. In substituting the values, we will get the moment of inertia. So when we look at the values, the moment of inertia at the lower value of j is 1.362, and for higher values it is 1.3971, and into 10 raised to minus 47, and in very higher values it is increases. So this variation is occurred due to the centrifugal distortion constant. So I stop here the session.